All right, here we are, live again. Kerry Romano-Zoll, Ingrid H. Turner. Oh my God, we love you so much. Hi, beautiful. You look gorgeous today.
Hello, beautiful. Thank you. You do too. In fact, I was talking to you a little bit before we came on, and I was really admiring that yellow shirt and what's ever going on up here. It looks great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I freaking love this yellow shirt. It's like this color apparently is awesome on me, so I have to do more of it, I think. So thank you for
Yeah.
that. You've got a very sacral energy, kind of like an orange tint today with the lighting and the hair, and it looks gorgeous. So I like that deeply feminine, grounded, creative space. So that's
Thank
delicious.
you for noticing that.
Yeah, but
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I needed that actually.
good. That's what we like to do. We like to give what we need. So, hey, we were anticipating as we were chatting that we might go longer than our 30 minutes today because we have so much to coming up. And what I'd like to do in this field is I'll kick us off with grounding like we do. And then I have a message from Spirit that I downloaded on Sunday for our Bava Sunday service group. And it has really been playing out this week. And I know you and I have talked about it in our personal lives as well. So I thought I'd read that and then we'll kick off into our discussion. Sound good? Yeah, baby. Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right. So if you're watching and you're able to, go ahead and close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, go in through the nose, out through the mouth. Feel your energy pool in your root chakra. Maybe it'll feel warm or tingly. You'll just be aware that it's happening. Take a deep breath in and pull the energy from your root into your heart. Exhale and hold the energy in your heart. Inhale and pull the energy from your heart into your crown. Exhale and hold the energy in your crown. Inhale and pull the energy out of your body. Feel it connect with divine source energy. And with the out breath, pull that energy back into your body and into your heart. Breathe in and hold the energy in your heart. Breathe out and pull the energy down to your root. Breathe in and hold the energy in your root. Breathe out and push the energy down your legs and into your feet. Breathe in and hold the energy in your feet. Breathe out and push the energy into the earth. Feel that energy hooking with the earth's core and take a deep breath in and pull it back up towards your feet. Exhale. Inhale and feel the energy hit the soles of your feet and move up your legs and pool again in the root chakra and exhale into your root chakra. All right, let's go ahead and open our eyes when you're ready. Hi, gorgeous. All right, so I've got my phone in my back pocket, my messages. I'll kick us off by reading the message for the week, which downloaded wrong. Okay, this is from, so when I do a little bit of explanation, our Bava Sunday services, which is Sundays at 11 a.m., we're going to start live streaming them over Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, starting September 6th. So these messages will be broadcasted out, all the way over. Right now, Zoom group, but we're transitioning that to be broadcasted live. So what I do is my job is to get out of the way in my work. It's a spiritual channel. I'm a prayer psychic. It's like get out of the way and deliver the message. So every morning on Sunday, I sit down. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I sit down and I tune in and I ask my guide mods to give me a message, and he always does. God love him. And then I deliver that message, and then we get to talk about it, and we get to feel into it. We get to expand on it. So that's the sort of the format for our Bava Sunday services. And this message, I got a little bit of a it's coming. So let me read this, and then we'll talk about it more. When you can see nothing around you but darkness, fall into the darkness and hold gratitude for the insulation of darkness. time, you will see that everything is working ecstatically in your favor. The whole universe bows at your feet and honors you, for you are its creator. Your practice then, creator being, is gratitude. In gratitude, you remember. In gratitude, you remember your essence. In gratitude, you remember your place. In gratitude, you remember your path. In gratitude, you remember how to love. You are God creator, fiercely focused into this point of divine experience. The power of all is coursing through you, begging for an outlet. The darkest times wield the brightest light. In time, you see this so clearly, and you wonder why you didn't have faith when you were walking through the black. Gratitude will give you that faith today. The world around you is crumbling. Let it, and crumble with it. What is being revealed is beyond your wildest dreams. The new earth is still dusty, but the clarity is coming. And your gratitude for and through this hectic, chaotic process will reveal it all the more swiftly. The practice of gratitude will draw on your strength when your ego loses everything. The collective ego is losing all of it. Let it flail in its death throes, because the afterlife of this collective ego experience is moving from fear to love. Stay in gratitude for every piece and trust, sweet human, that all is working in your favor, and you have indeed created a new, abundant, love-expressed universe. Be patient and gratefully let it reveal itself.
Mm-hmm. That's yummy.
I was like, yeah, when I downloaded that.
Yeah, I actually shared it on my personal page because it was so profound.
Awesome.
And as you know, because I speak to you often, I think I text you or called you and it said, "What the hell is going on with me?"
Yeah.
And you had just posted that, and I read it, and it completely resonated with what's going on with me in general. And, at first I really didn't want to say anything to anybody about what was going on with me because I kind of just hibernate every single time. And actually, my best friend, she was like, "You know what? I am done with you doing that. You need to reach out to me," which it's just hard for me.
Yeah.
It's really hard for me. It's hard for me to ask for help. It's hard for me to reach out because I feel like all my life I've always been the rescuer and I've always been the giver and, taking people that, have fallen and reaching my hand out, to grab them and pull them up. To me, that is so gratifying to help people. And for me, I just hibernate and I go into my own little thing. And before back in the day, it was just being overwhelmed or stressed. But since this pandemic hit, I have definitely what I call now, which I don't like putting a label on it, is a low grade depression. And I thought I popped out of it like 6-7 weeks ago, whenever, I started, exercising and I knew that the shows were happening again and I was motivated and I love my plate full and everything's going great. And we went live last Tuesday, and right after we went live, it started hitting me again. And I think that having my close friends being evacuated out of their homes. I almost had you evacuated, my other best friend evacuated, but most of my friends were evacuated. Their families didn't even know if they were going to be able to go home to their properties and homes. And a lot of us up here, we grow medicinal herbs, we grow vegetables, we grow our food on our land. And so that's huge, and it was so heavy on my heart. And, going from one show to 3 shows in our original series, it's a lot. And I felt so overwhelmed. And I just said to myself, you know what, Kerry? If you're tired of playing this avatar that you're playing right now, then hang it in the closet and just relax and do you and do more self-care, drink your tea and do what you need to do to get back on track. And this is normal. Stop thinking it's not normal. It's normal. A lot of people out there need more people admitting this. Instead of me being the private person that I normally used to be, I need to be authentic and say, hey, I might be a powerhouse and I might get a lot of shit done, but I'm going through it. And I'm going through it hard. And it's almost like I'm suffocating. Like I explained to you, like I have this thick plastic rubber all around me. And I'm like trying to push through, I'm trying to get through, and I can't get through. And, the one thing that has helped me be afloat of it and not be in such a deep is being in a state of gratitude. Mm-hmm. And it's not like before where I'm gratitude for my home, my land, my people. I'm gratitude for small little things, like I was telling you right before we came on, opening a drawer and seeing spices that we're cooking with that I actually grew on the property, and giving thanks to that herb and saying, thank you so much. I mean, the smallest little thing I'm holding on to. And I know, because I can turn that into a better feeling thought, it will get bigger and bigger and better. But you got to stay in a state of gratitude, because and I know it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
Am I just talking more?
No, you're good. I like you talking about your experience and getting into gratitude for the little things. Like, it doesn't have to be up here. It can be down here. I think that's really helpful, because what I'm seeing is after I downloaded this message, and it was really about, so strong about gratitude, right the next day as the week started, I immediately started to see people in my sphere kind of crumbling and starting to really go through it and getting hit hard by some dark energies. And dark, I don't mean evil, I just mean heavy, dense, challenging. People are getting really strongly hit. And when life is good, gratitude is easy. Oh yeah, I'm so grateful for everything. And it's when life gets challenging, it's when we are challenged and we are energetically oppressed, that gratitude becomes very challenging. And actually, our ego fights against getting into gratitude. I've seen this happen. It's happened to myself. It's like, yeah, I know about gratitude, but come on, this is ridiculous, something like that. It's like, that's what we do. Our ego kind of comes in and goes, how can I sabotage an expansion through this? Because the ego loves to feel safe and contained and contracted. And so what you're describing, which I think is really helpful, is don't start out here, like when you're happy, when things are going well. Oh yeah, I got my house, my land, Bring it down to wherever you are right now and focus on the little tiny things. Like my drawer, I'm like, yeah, those spices add to my life. Take a breath and go, I'm grateful for this breath. And something that comes up is you're describing your experience, is depression experience, which is so unlike you. The first line in this message, I feel like, really speaks to you and other people who are going through a depressive period during this time. When you can see nothing around you but darkness, fall into the darkness and feel gratitude for the insulation of darkness. And you alluded to that, talking about how depression hit you. And what it did was, you there's no fighting through it. You realize that fighting through it is futile. You need to surrender to it. You need to surrender to rest, surrender self-care, to recharge. Everything is by divine design. Everything is working in our favor. When we're feeling this depression cloak us, there's an insulation happening. There's a slowing down happening. There's a message in there to say, God, take care of your sweet self, because bigger things are coming and you need your strength, big girl. That's what I guess from this message and from what you're talking about in your experience. I'm so happy to hear. And I know this about you. Is you take the path of least resistance, because you know that that's the path of spirit. And for you right now, the path of least resistance is, okay, chill. Like, this is where we're at. And pretty soon you're going to pop out of it. My feeling for you, if you don't mind me saying so, is you're not as in it as you were 7 weeks ago. This is sort of a real lower grade even. It's just a little slump, and you're going to expand through it. But that's what happens when we're full on manifesting and we're in this new paradigm and this new energy, and we're going full bore, then we hit a plateau. And that plateau can look like depression. It can look like inability to focus. That's something that I've been dealing with. I've noticed. I think my version of what you're talking about is I'm not feeling depressed. I'm having a heck of a hard time focusing. Just got to get things done. And it's like A, B, and C. It's really, really hard. I want to go to A to Z. And it's like, it's spirit slowing us down. And as we are slowed down by spirit, however that shows up, it can feel dark, it can feel heavy, really intense things can be happening in our personal life. The micro reflects the macro. The world is in utter chaos right now, and it's only going to increase. So it tells me we've got to the gratitude for it, because that's how we move ourselves out of that fear, restrictive, contracted space into that expansive space of unconditional love. That's how we create this new world through the vehicle of what our passion is. And for you, that's your shows. That's Corporate Hippie Connection. It's like showing up and spreading the message through creativity, through creating that content. That's how I feel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody listening, if you have thoughts about this, about gratitude and what you've been going through, please feel free to comment. We're happy to riff with you. We think that's really fun. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no. You said the word surrender. Yeah, that really just resonates with me. When we were talking and communicating, I just knew I needed to surrender to whatever that was going on with me, and just like not even break it down, like give my brain a rest. I mean, you know what I'm doing, and it's a lot. And then I'm reading books for, so I'm able to be prepared to interview authors, and, just organizing everything and making sure we all have the same equipment. I just basically just like didn't do anything. Like literally was sitting back and watching a lot of documentaries and doing that kind of research. And watching original series and seeing what I like and what I don't like, and really just giving my brain a rest. But looking around, so while I'm laying on my couch, looking around and noticing things and saying, okay, I was actually thinking that I noticed a spider web in the corner, and I was like, oh, okay, well, the next time I clean, which will be the following Monday, I'll just clean that. And thank you for, I'm able to notice that, that I have eyes that I can see. There are a lot more people out there that are a lot more worse, wait on list waiting for a transplant. I know that. And I'm grateful for the body that I'm in. And if the body that I'm in needs to take a mental, physical, just break, emotional break, then that's what I'm going to surrender to. And if anybody out there that is going through anything like this, just surrender to it. And don't put too much pressure on yourself. Like you always say, Ingrid, we're just humans having a human experience, and this is okay. Yeah, it's all right. And we need more people like ourselves being authentic and explain what we're going through. Being more of an open book, because then there are people out there that want to help, that might have similar experiences that can help you.
Yeah. Something you brought up that I'm getting bang on my head about is you talked about the difficulty in asking for help. How, and I have that same thing running too. You were talking about how, like, you don't ask for help. You're the one that gives. You're pulling people out of the dark. That's how it's always been. And so when you find yourself in it, it can be hard for you to fathom asking for help. And I've got a little bit of that. I've got some of that running too. Although it is something that I have been really actively working on, is learning how to receive. But what you can start with, if you're a person who is always the giver, and that's maybe part of your identity, or, for whatever reason, you kind of got a block around asking for help or reaching out for help, you can do it energetically. You can say a prayer or set an intention. Say, Spirit, I need help. I don't know how to ask for it. I need you to handle this for me. And I'm telling you, every time I have done this, when I've been in a state where I'm just like, I can't ask for help, my ego is just not letting me go there, then what happens is when I really need it, somebody will reach out to me. I will get a ping. Somebody on Facebook will be like, I was thinking about you. Or I'll get a call from an old friend. God, you have been on my mind. How are you? And I'll be like, oh my God. And it'll be just the perfect person to help carry me through whatever experience I'm doing. So you can do this energetically first, and then that will open you up to learn how to receive. And learning how to receive is really important for all of us, because you know why? Your intuition is the act of receiving. Manifesting is the act of receiving. you have to know how to receive. And especially in this new energy, this new paradigm, it's even more important. So it's kind of no wonder that you're going through it a bit, Kerry, and needing support, needing to learn how to open yourself up to receive, because that's the new energy. And your spirit is, whether you like it or not, is going to line up with that new paradigm, because you're on this planet at this time. So it's pretty exciting that that's another place where we can go with that, is really learning how to receive is a big deal. And gratitude, of course, ties right into that, because gratitude is looking around at what you have, and that automatically opens up your energy to receive more. So let's talk about, if we could go in the sort of in another direction here. I really want to help people, because one of the things I've seen pop up over a couple of times this week, as people have been going through it, is they're resistant to gratitude itself, to the practice of gratitude. And I completely understand that. So I want to talk about some practical, very easy ways to implement a gratitude practice when you're in a funk, when you're just not feeling it. For me, when I take it out of my head and I anchor it in the physical by writing it down, that's super helpful to me. What I like to do is challenge myself to write a full page. But if I'm really in it, I may not be able to do that. So I'll just pick out 3 things that I'm grateful for, and 3 different things each time you write a list. Writing it down, I find, is extremely helpful. Some people like to people like to speak it. That feels more powerful to them. It almost becomes like a prayer or an intention, which I think is really beautiful as well. But really not just like speaking it with your mind, but speaking it with your heart, speaking it with your body, getting it out there. I like your example of the spider web. Well, I'm grateful I picked up on that spider web so I can clean it up on Monday, but not now. What about you? What are some of the ways that you practically implement?
Okay, well, I'll give you a perfect example for this week. So last week, Jaden started 5th grade, and it's distancing learning, and so I'm taking it on this year to make sure that he is, being successful. So because of the fires, school basically was non-existent. It was very, there wasn't very much interaction. And so yesterday, we get on to Google Classroom, which is freaking amazing. And I went on there and I noticed that there was some pieces of work that Jaden hadn't done on Friday. And I had a meltdown. I had an adult temper tantrum and I started crying. And I walked out of the room, and Jaden, of course, saw me crying, and he saw that I was frustrated. It wasn't with him. It wasn't anything of any sort. It was just the icing on the cake for me. And so I went into my bathroom and I basically meditated in there, and I took a grip and I said, look it, you either can turn this into a positive or a negative. And you're so, I don't know how this happened, but this big ping came and said, you get to do 5th grade all over again. How exciting is that? And I went in, and Jaden now is emotional because, he's like, oh, shoot, do I have extra work? And I said, you know what, Jaden, you know what's so great about this? I get to do 5th grade with you, and we're in this to win it together.
Oh, that's
awesome. That I had to homeschool my son, instead of complaining that, how can I possibly do it? Because there's a lot of complaining out there about this. And hey, look at, I respect that. But I had to at that moment, and I actually had gratitude that I want to be smarter than a 5th grader. Don't you?
Totally.
How many people get the chance to do 5th grade again? In fact, I met with this teacher today and I said, Jaden and I are so excited that you're our teacher this year again. And for me, I get to do 5th grade. And I think he probably thinks I'm crazy. And I even told the secretary, he probably thinks I'm crazy, but I don't care. I think it's awesome. And he was like on board, and we fist bumped, and we were like, we're in this, we're going to do this. Awesome. And so I'm excited to do this with them. And so I turned it into a positive, and I'm giving gratitude that I actually get to do this with him.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Reframes are so powerful. Looking at a situation and turning it on its head, because every experience has a light and a shadow side. That's creation. Creation is all of it, the whole spectrum of the experience. So taking something, and when you're in a crummy place, sometimes we want to look at it with just the shadow side and be like, ugh. But when you flip it on its head like that and you reframe it and you start to feel differently and get excited about it, it completely transforms the experience and takes you out of your funk. That's gorgeous.
And when you look at it as a positive, instead of complaining, because if I complained and I took it on as more of one more thing I have to do, that's just bringing more of that energy into my space.
Yeah.
And by turning it into a positive is giving a positive story to my son, because this is crazy times right now. He's doing distancing learning, which he did want. He wanted that instead of going into the classroom wearing a mask. And so I just, you know what, this is awesome. Let's just turn it into a positive and we get to do this together and really be successful at it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's lots of things I forget that I learned in 5th grade that I'm like relearning, and I'm thinking, wow. So I'm just upgrading my brain while I am going about this new journey, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, we have a comment here that I want to throw up here because this is really good. This is Alex. Alex is my cousin. Actually, I adore Alex. He's over on the other side of the world. He's over in the UK, but he's always got something really special and sparkly to say about this kind of thing. He says, reverence is key. Always embracing it puts you in your power, your capacity to see past yourself. Oh my God, I love that. Reverence and humility.
I love that.
100%, Alex. That is so
I love that.
Yummy, yummy.
Alex, that's awesome. I love it. It's really it's embracing it. And that's what I did yesterday. I embraced it. And I just was like, I've got to make this successful. And I'm actually looking forward to it. I really am. I'm really excited about this.
You're going to probably be really surprised at the holes in your 5th grade education. Like we all would be like, oh, no, who knew I didn't know that anymore?
Right. I mean, that's why they did a show on this, because we forget so much. And I mean, adults going up against 5th graders, you know, because it's like, you do forget the older you get. That's why it's so important to read books and educate yourself. So I'm just basically upgrading my brain with my son. And I just think it's awesome.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, darling. Gosh, that feels really good. How do you feel, Kerry?
I feel good. I feel good. I look really forward to these Tuesdays, you know, and I want to send this message out. It's like, you know, we are positive empowerment influencers, but it's okay if you're an influencer and you're going through stuff. It's okay for you to be able to take space for yourself and give yourself self-care. So yeah, I'm feeling complete. I'm feeling complete because go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say you something that I was thinking about earlier and I forgot about it. You just reminded me about it. So taking time for yourself, so important, but also because, you know, we're showing up here and we're in the world and we're moving from fear to love. And we're all about staying the positivity and the love. And yet we are here and we are here for the whole human experience. And you mentioned something earlier about not wanting to complain because that adds like that energy and just, you know, it just snowballs whatever's going on when you start getting into complaining. That's not the same as like airing out and not venting, but expressing, I think can be really important. But you want to be really conscious about the people who you express to, because, you know, when we're in a dark place, when we have darker energy starting to come through difficult experiences, complaining comes very easy. It's so easy. It's like sliding down a hill on a snowy hill on a sled. It's just so easy. So having good friends, counselors, ministers, guides who you can express to when you are able to reach out for help or energetically call in that help, who can keep you on that even keel and help you not fall into complaining, but can help you express and then take you deeper into the experience so you can feel through it. And like Alex said, like reverence and gratitude and humility each experience and find the light side of the shadowy experience. That's super important. We can't just call anybody and say, this is what's going on in my life. I need to vent, because most people are in the habit or have the conditioning around, get it out, vent. Let me just go get to the lowest common denominator with you. Let's like really hash this out. And then you don't feel better. You haven't pulled yourself out of it. You sank yourself in a little deeper. That's all I wanted to add. I think that's really important.
Well, thank you. And I really appreciate that message that you posted. And if you have not if you're replaying this and you want to post it on your wall, you can find it on Ingrid H. Turner's wall and my wall, because we both shared it from the Baba mission page. Yeah.
Yes, awesome. So, Kerry, why don't you talk about, for the people who are on my side of the camp and maybe may not know you, tell people a little bit about who you are and where they can find you.
Okay, so as you know, I'm Kerry Romano Zoll, and I reside here in Northern California. I am a host and a spiritual entrepreneur and producer for Corporate Hippie Connection. We are all about being that conscious living community and movement, helping people find the right resources to take them to their higher potentials. And we are producing 3 shows and a original series with 7 very powerful women that are involved with Corporate Hippie Connection. And you will see and be able to really just dip in and see what normal, regular lives are with one of the shows that we're doing, and being able to see people transform their lives. Yeah.
That's what we like. That's kind of me and Kerry's jam, is we like to help people transform, become the best versions of themselves. So that's going to be really cool. Awesome. Thank you, babe. So for those of you who do not know me, my name is Ingrid H. Turner. You can see it on screen. I am the founder of the Bava Spiritual Mission. This is our not-for-profit organization that helps people connect with divine spirit independently through the modalities of psychic intuition, channeling, and mediumship. We run a school where we teach people how to do this and build their own platform to take their message out into the world. We're really here to celebrate and support the next wave of spiritual leaders, however that shows up for them, whatever container they use to take that out there. That's what we're all about. And we also are committed to just sharing the love, helping, really, especially since we went through this new paradigm when COVID hit and we're in this brand new energy. We are a community of ultra committed spiritual messengers, leaders, mystics, preachers, who are here to help move this earth into this new paradigm, to move from fear to love. And you can look on the Bava Spiritual Mission Facebook page. We're going to have content rolling out that's going to be all about that, all the different layers. It's very cool. It's going to be very exciting. You can check out our website if you're interested in our school, which helps you build your life in partnership with spirit. That's at bavamission.org. So, okay, done, over and out. Well, thank you, Kerry. I love you to death. I also love Tuesday.
Love you too.
You.
Thank you so much. We love you, and we can't wait to see you next Tuesday at 2:00 on both of our platforms.
Ba-boom. Give us each a follow and a like and a love. We'll love you forever if you do. Okay, we'll love you forever if you don't, but we'll be happy if you do. All right. Thanks all. Bye.